The first chapter we have is basic economic ideas and resource allocation. According to the syllabus 2016 and 18, there are the topics included: scarcity, choice, opportunity cost, positive and normative statement, factors of production, resource allocation in different economic systems, and issues of transition, production possibility curve, classification of goods and services, and money. We start with the first topic, and that is basic economic ideas. The first word which we need to understand is economy. What economy is? Well, we already have heard this word. We might be familiar with, like, we need to know the difference between country and economy. Country is geographical area. Economy is some activity. When we say economy, we simply define economy is an area where goods and services are produced and consumed. Based on that, can we say a local market is an economy? For example, can we say in my city, Lahore, Liberty Market is a market where there are different shops, goods are being traded? Can we say that this Liberty Market is an economy? Or the province in which I live is Punjab. Is it the Punjab economy because it's an area and the goods and services are being produced? Or the country in which I am living, Pakistan, is it an economy? Because it's also an area where goods and services are produced and consumed. Or the continent I am living in Asia. So can we say that Asia is an economy? Or I am living in this whole world, part of the whole world. So can we say this whole world is an economy? Yes. All of them are economies. A Liberty Market, Punjab, Pakistan, India, China, UK, USA, Asia, Europe, Africa, all are economies. Whole world is also economy. But we categorize them. We split it into local, national, and international economy. Local economy is in local area, small market. In a local market, it might be a town market, or it might be a residential block market, or even it's some province. But once we reach the country level, like Pakistan, we call it national economy. When we go beyond the country, it is international economy. So, India, Pakistan, China, UK, USA, France, Germany, these all are national economies. Asia, Europe, Africa, these are supposed to be international economies, or whole world is also international economy, while anything lesser than a country is supposed to be a local economy. So, which economy we should refer hereafter in our economics, whole study of economics? Simply, we can refer to anyone, but by default, we say that national economy is economy. So hereafter, whenever we use the word economy, we will say it's national economy. Well, the next word which we have is economics. What is economics? Most of the people think that economics is about money. Yes, it is about money, but money is only a part of economics. It's not the whole economics. It's about the business. Yes, it is about the business, but not just the business. Economics is a very wide subject, include a number of things, but we will move them to them in detail. But right now, we need a simple version of what economics is. There are the two definitions. One is simple, common sense thing. You can do it by your own guesswork. And the second is more formal. First, we need to go for a common sense thing. You know what is economy? An area where goods and services are produced and consumed. Okay, can you guess what is economics? Think of it. Well, yes, if you have in mind, you have the right thing in your mind. Economics is simply the study of economy. That means the study of an area where goods and services are being produced. That means the study of activity of production and consumption. So there are the two big parts of economics. One is the production, the other is the consumption. We'll talk later on about production and consumption in detail, right, in our coming lectures. So, moving on to a more formal definition, we say it is a social science. Okay, we need to, sometimes it is confusing for the students that how it is a science. Science is physics, chemistry, math, biology. How it is economics is a science. You didn't know that sciences are two types. Simply the science is any knowledge which can be tested, verified, which can be, we can perform some experiments and we can have some verification of the things which are happening in that subject. So they are categorized into two ways. One which are the pure sciences, the other which relate to the human behavior. That may be sociology, law, anthropology, or government and politics and any other subject. Economics fall in that category which we call as social science. So it is all about human behavior. We won't study the electronics thing, or we don't go for the engineering thing and how the machines work, but we will see how the human behavior works. Okay. Human behavior is a very wide thing. We do study human behavior in psychology as well, in sociology as well, and history as well. What is the area of economics specifically? The area of economics is a study of human behavior between two things. One is unlimited wants, and the other is limited resources with their alternative uses. Okay, let's talk about the unlimited wants. Means there are the two things. One are the needs, the other are the wants. Needs are the things which we need, without which we cannot live. Is food, clothing, shelter, etc. Wants are the things which give us pleasure, give us some satisfaction, give us some utility, but they are not necessary for our survival. For example, we need food, but we don't need a luxury house, or we don't need a pizza, or we don't need any specific kind of food, right? That will be counted as wants. A luxury car, a new house, a new mobile. These all would be the wants, the things you desire, but you can live without them. While the needs are the things without which you cannot survive. You need water, you need clothing, you need shelter. So these are the things without which you cannot live. Needs are limited, but wants, they don't have any limit. Why there is no limit for wants? Wants basically is the human nature. If I get something, I'm not getting, I will be satisfied for a certain period of time, but then I will start desiring more. I have one phone, okay. Once I get it, I will be very happy. But after some time, I will start thinking of, okay, there is a better phone, there is a new model, there is a new phone in the market, I want that. So there won't be any limit, any stop to the wants. So wants would be staying always unlimited. On the other hand, the second thing which we need to consider, and these are the two ends between which the economics fall. The first is unlimited wants. The second one, we have limited resources. Okay, what are resources? Anything which is helpful in production of goods and services is resources. That could be machine, that could be labor, that could be land, that could be anything which is helpful in production is a resource, and we call them limited. Why they are limited? Because the land on earth crust is limited. The number of people in this world who can work are limited, and similarly, the number of machines we have are limited. The amount of food we can grow on the land is also limited. So everything which is being produced are supposed to be limited. So because of the limited resources, we have limited goods and services, and therefore we can satisfy limited wants. We cannot satisfy all of them. Studying how humans behave when they face this limited wants with their limited resources, and they have the unlimited wants, how they would react, how they would work is actually economics. I would be moving you to a certain the diagram here. Okay, look at this flow chart. We have wants, and these wants are satisfied by goods and services. We feel hungry, okay, how that hunger would be satisfied? With some food. These are the goods. Okay, how that food would be coming to us will be produced by workers, will be grown some agricultural area, then will be processed, then will be cooked, and then will be coming to, and then will be served to our table. So it would be coming to the resources. There will be land, labor, machines, etc. Now, if we have unlimited wants, if we have limited resources, then we can produce limited goods and services. And if we can produce limited goods and services, then we can have limited wants to be satisfied. So not all wants will be satisfied. This thing we call as basic economic problem according to, and that would be actually the study of economics. Studying the problem of scarcity or scarcity is actually, or studying of the basic economic problem is actually economics. Moving back in detail, and some things which we need to go in further, as we talked about, what is production is actually simply any activity by which we produce something else. We create goods and services is the production activity, and an activity in which we use goods and services is termed as consumption. In consumption, there are the two types of goods. One are perishables, consumer perishables, those goods which we once used and like we eat pizza and that pizza is no more. We drink Coke and that Coke is not existing anymore because we have done it. Other things like some other consumer durables that cannot be once used, would not be perishing, like a laptop, I'm using it for last 4 years, or a TV, or a car, or furniture that can be used for many, many times, so it will be consumer durable. Talking about the basic economic problem, we have two ends. One is the resources, the other is wants. So we need to look at the resources in detail now. Resources are subdivided, categorized into economic resources and free resources. Let's talk about free resources first. Those resources which are unlimited in supply will be considered as free resources. Here is a confusion. A common English language and the economic jargon would be having different meaning for the same word. In common English language, we say free is something for which we do not pay. For example, if I am being invited on a lunch which I won't be paying, my friend would be paying for that, then it is free for me. Or if I receive a gift from some friend and that gift I'm not paying for it, so it is free to me. Or I win some scholarship for the government university, I'm getting the education free there because that scholarship is being what my fee would be paid by the government. That is an English language use, the word free, for which one does not pay. On the other hand, when it comes to the economic jargon, the word free have different meaning. The word free, when it comes to economics, means for which no one pays. Neither me, nor my friend, nor my parents, nor the government, no one in the world. That would be considered as free. And that can only happen if something is unlimited in supply. For example, for air, no one is paying. Sunlight, no one is, not even the government is paying for the sunlight. So that would be considered as free. So when we use the word free in economics, it will be unlimited in supply rather than for which one does not pay. So these free resources are actually not concern of economics. Our concern mainly fall over the economic resources. Economic resources, also known as scarce resources, limited in supply. Something which is not unlimited and something which is helpful in production will be economic resource. Okay, they are subcategorized into 4 ones: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Land, what does it mean? Labor, what does it mean? Capital, what does it mean? Okay, moving to, I'm taking you to certain table here, land. We use a symbol for N for land. Common tradition in economics is we use the first letter as a symbol. Like labor, we are using L. But for land, we are using N, not the L. Why it is so? Because land, when we use, actually we use it for natural resources. So the word natural, we use the N symbol for the natural actually. So land is limited natural resource. What are natural resources? Anything which is a resource and God gifted, like an agricultural area or oil in the earth crust, crude oil, not the refined one, not the petroleum. Because that is not natural, that is being made by the human being and something requiring the human effort. Minerals, even the river is land. River is the water. How is land? Even the sea is land. Anything which is natural, even the fish is land, even the forest is land. Anything which is natural, God gifted, does not require any human effort, will be considered as land. And the reward for land, reward means here that if we lend our land to someone else for use only, we're not selling it, we're not transferring it, we are just giving it to someone else for use only. In reward, we will be getting some payment, and that payment is termed as rent. Second resource is labor. The word labor again, and again you might have noticed this thing, that the land which common sense and English language word, English language we use it for earth surface. But there is no earth surface in the river, it's the water. But still we call it land. So it means that English language word land means earth surface, while economic word land means natural resource. Similarly, labor in English language, some workers, those who are doing some manual work like a white collar job, right? So they would be considered as labor. But in economics, it would be human effort, not the person even. In economics, machine operator is not labor, security guard is not labor, teacher is not labor, doctor is not labor, manager is not labor. They all are human beings, and we say that human being is not labor, but the human effort is labor. Human effort means the effort of machine operator, the effort of teacher, the effort of doctor, the effort of security guard. They will be considered as labor, not the person. Well, moving on. So, medical services, these all are labor, human efforts measured in number of hours, and the reward for labor will be considered as wages and salaries. The next resource we have is capital, and we're using the K symbol from some Latin word, and it is man-made resources. Man-made means where the human effort is required, like roads, buildings, machines, or Microsoft Word, or any software. They all would be considered as some resources produced by the human effort, and they would be helpful in any business activity. We call them capital, and reward for capital is interest. You need to notice one thing, that all the reward are actually in the term of money, currency. We are being paid in the form of dollars and wages. We are also receiving the rent in the form of dollars, and we are also receiving the interest in the form of dollars. So these all are actually the currency or money, but we have different terms for different factors of production or different resources. For land we use land, for labor we use wages and salaries, for capital we use interest. The last factor of production is entrepreneurship. There is no way that people come together and sit at a certain place and start working without some binding force, and that binding force, one person or a group of persons who bring everything together, machines, equipment, workers, and everything together, we call them entrepreneurship. The effort of entrepreneurs or the owners of the businesses is termed as entrepreneurship. They have the two things to do. One is combining of all factors together. Factors means the resources here. And Second, taking the risk of loss. For example, if a business is facing a loss, it's not the capital owner who will pay, like the one who have given you the machine for use. You are paying certain interest against that machine to that person, no matter whether you make a profit or loss. Or if a worker is there and you're paying him salary, no matter whether you earn profit or loss, you are paying salary to that person. Similarly, if you are making a loss or you are making a profit. So the loss, taking the risk of loss, is an exclusive property or exclusive function of entrepreneurship. The examples of entrepreneur activities are sole trader services or partner services or shareholder services, and the reward for entrepreneurship, we call it profit. Moving on from these resources, we are, as we have talked about the wants, we are already clear with the needs and wants, so what is the difference between them, and we have done the basic economic problem. Relationship between scarcity, choice, and opportunity cost, how these three things are linked together. The link between them is very simple. If there is scarcity, there will be a choice. And if there is a choice, there will be an opportunity cost. We already know scarcity. What is choice? Selection of something, making a decision. Like you have agricultural area, you need to decide whether you grow the corn there or you will grow the rice there. You can't grow both things at the same time in the same land. Or you are a worker and you can do a job in one company or you can do a job in another company. You cannot do the job in the both companies at the same time. Or you have a machine, you have a car, you can use it for personal purpose or you can use it as a taxi, but you won't be able to use it for both purposes at the same time, maybe at the different times, but not in the same time. So you are going to make a choice. Or even in the consumption, like you want to buy a laptop or a phone. So if you're buying a laptop, you're not buying the phone because you have a limited budget. So making a decision about with the given resources, what you're going to produce or consume is your choice, and whatever you lose, whatever you leave is your opportunity cost. Moving on, for example, let's take different examples. Opportunity cost is termed as the benefit of next best alternative sacrificed for the current choice being made. So, for example, an individual, for example, if you need to buy a chocolate or a Coke and you have the budget limited to only buy one, so if you buy the chocolate, you lose the benefit of Coke. Or if you buy the Coke, you lose the benefit of chocolate. For a firm, for example, a firm can open a new branch or a firm can launch this new advertisement campaign. If they spend the money or budget or advertisement campaign, they have left nothing to start the new branch, to open the new branch. So if advertisement campaign will be having an opportunity cost of new branch, and if you go for the new branch, right, then advertisement campaign would be your opportunity cost. For country even, for example, a country need to build the roads and the hospitals, both of them, but their budget is limited to one only. They can only do the one. So if they go for building of hospitals, they won't be having the benefit of roads, and if they go for the roads, they won't be having the benefit of hospital. So every choice we make, like even, for example, you have made a choice while viewing this lecture. You had a limited time. Within that 20 minutes, you might have watched a movie, or you might have listened to a song, or you might have played some game, or you might be sleeping, and you might be attending the lecture. So if you made a choice, something you must have, the next thing you had in your planning must have been sacrificed. And that thing which you left and would be considered as your choice, and the thing which you have selected would be the thing which you have left is opportunity cost, and the thing you have selected is your choice. Thank you very much. We will be back with the production possibility curve in our next lecture.